Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it looks like Snow White is going to do a lot worse than they expected it to do. This movie's looking at, what, 43 million if they're lucky this weekend?
Yeah, domestic, yeah. And then globally, it doesn't come anywhere near the $100 million they thought it would come.
Yeah, Snow White didn't come as much as they thought she was going to.
Yeah, I know, right? She's not even going to hit 90.
Wow. Yeah. That's really bad because they were adjusting the projections down kind of week after week. We watched it happen in real time, and they were like, yeah, it's going to do globally, it's going to do 100 million. Now it's looking at maybe 87 million. I've had people write privately and say, hey, in other countries it's not doing well. One person wrote from Italy and was like, there's nobody in the theater. Nobody wants to go see this
There's nobody
movie.
in the theater here either, so, you know.
No. It's a huge disaster, and it's a very expensive movie. And I think Disney knew. I don't think they thought it was going to be this bad, but it's worse. It's worse than the worst case scenario. And I mean, I guess the worst case scenario is it would have been like 20 million or something like that. But I think The Flash made more money.
The Marvels made more money. Dumbo made more money. And the thing is, the Marvels budget was about the same as what they estimate Snow White's to be. And I think Snow White's is actually showing low. 270 million was the Marvel's budget. And they lost the company, I forget how many, 200 and some $million. I have an article. Yeah. So if that's how they did, and Marvel's was pulled out of theaters within 4 weeks because it was so bad. Snow White's not going to do any better because they might have one more week. It's probably going to have a huge drop. And then we have Minecraft. Yeah,
Minecraft is that's your audience right there. Right. I mean, whatever, like everybody's going to go see Minecraft, even though objectively Minecraft looks like a not so good movie, but
it looks better than this. And
it looks better than this, right? It looks better than this. They're doing a huge promotional blitz for it. I mean, they got the McDonald's tie-ins. They got all kinds of stuff going on with
the kids
Minecraft,
yearn for the mines, but just not the ones in Snow White.
The kids yearn for the Minecraft.
Just not the ones in Snow White. Both involve miners and miners, but only one's going to be more popular with those miners.
Oh God!
Spell it either way you want.
Spelling is key.
Well, no. It works both ways.
Okay, so let's talk about this because everybody's talking about Snow White and people are like, I'm so sick of Snow White videos. I'm like, this is just another indicator that Disney can't get it right when it comes to pretty much everything at this point. I mean,
Lilo and Stitch though. Lilo and Stitch looks okay. I think they're going to do really well with that one because the CGI doesn't look so effing creepy too.
Well, it's also, there's a couple things. One, Lilo and Stitch, I think just in general is easier to adapt to live action because it basically was a family sitcom drama with cartoon alien in it. And
kids know it.
Kids know it. That's a big thing too. Like Snow White, it's almost 90 years old, right? And it's a classic. It's a timeless classic, but I don't think it's on most 10-year-olds must-watch Disney movie list at this point, right? So let's talk about this anyway. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Clownfishtv.substack.com, looking for notifications. I'm going to try to get everything updated today. We had a couple days we're behind, so I'm like a day behind on those. But if YouTube doesn't notify you, go out there. So this is coming from piratesandprincesses.net. And according to Deadline, Snow White's only going to earn $43 million domestically and only $87 million globally. And the Marvels did 46.
46.1 million domestically and 110.3 globally. Dumbo did way more than those numbers too. So it's coming in below Dumbo and the Marvels. Yeah, here's Dumbo. They had 45.9 million domestically and globally they did almost 120 million. So it got its ass kicked by Dumbo. Yeah,
that's not good. There's no scenario in which that's good. And I think Disney adjusted their expectations, their projections downward, but I don't think they expected it to go this badly.
No, but here's the thing: instead of just taking the L and staying down, they are spending so much money. I would not be surprised they aren't spending more money on marketing on this than they did on the Marvels because the budget's for basically the same, according to what we know.
Yeah.
By the time they got done spending all the money, if you go up a little bit, by the time they got done spending all the money on the Marvels, go back up to the top. The Marvels here. I have the amount they lost. They end up losing $237 million. Okay. And they're spending way more money, I think, on this marketing for Snow White. They will not let it die. And they just, everywhere you go, I can't tell you how many damn ads I have sponsored in all my social media for Snow White. I already saw the damn movie. Stop showing me ads. I have tons of ads for it. I have tons of ads on, we watch like streaming services. They're running ads on the streaming services. They might even be running ads around these videos. I don't know. But they're running ads. They're spending so much more money running ads for Snow White than they did the Marvels. And
Why
it's like,
bother?
yes, exactly. You're just throwing good money after bad. You take the L. You just completely destroyed Walt Disney's legacy and his first fully animated feature, full-length animated feature that made the Disney company. You just pissed all over it because you had to reimagine everything, and you had to own the chuds, and now you ended up like just destroying that. Just take the L, stay down.
Now, was this movie was this greenlit on the other live action movie guy that they got rid of?
Yeah,
was on his watch.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're like just trying to flush this stuff out, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they won't learn because they're still going to do Hercules. They're doing Lilo and Stitch, and because Lilo and Stitch will probably do really well, they're going to double down like
more.
They'll probably take it as, instead of being like, let's end on a high note. No, they're already doing a Moana, which the Moana one might do well. And then they're already doing Hercules. But if they're going to go with that TikTok idiocy, they might as well just flush it. Because I'm telling you now, if you do to Hercules what you did to Snow White, but worse, it's not going to work.
I really hope, and this is one thing I'm seeing with Disney just in general, is they're kind of taking a wait and see approach now, I think. And I really hope that their takeaway from this is like, yeah, there's some movies that translate to live action, other ones we should not touch. I don't think Snow White should have been touched at all, given its impact and its history with the Walt Disney Company. I think this is one of those things that they just should not have gone anywhere near.
No. But I'm on okay. Well, I like Lilo and Stitch, and I'll probably go see it because I think it looks really cute. Personally, it doesn't need to exist. I'll go see it because I think I love Lilo and Stitch and I want to see it, but it doesn't need to exist. Like, stop doing the live action remakes. Do your live action films as live action films. Do your animated films as animated films. You don't need to remake all the stupid animated films in live action because they never translate well. Lilo and Stitch might be the only one that does, and that's still, the jury's out until I see it.
Yeah. I mean, that one, they might be showing us the good clips. I mean, I think the kid's cute, but can she carry a whole movie?
Oh, I don't know. I think it looks great, but like you said, it might just be the good clips because you have a theory that Cobra Bubbles is going to be Gantu in disguise.
Yeah. So this is I was talking with the kids last night. So what they seem to be doing, I mean, from what we've heard, what they seem to be doing with, now we're talking about Lilo and Stitch, but they seem to be taking the Cobra Bubbles character, which was a social worker / Men in Black agent, right? And they seem to be splitting the role into two parts. Like, they're going to have this new social worker, and then they're also going to have Cobra Bubbles out there looking for Stitch. I am wondering if they're just going to take and merge Gantu with Cobra Bubbles because Jamba and Pleakley are going to be human for most of it.
Yeah, because it saves money.
It saves money, right? And plus, it's going to be kind of weird. Like, it works in a cartoon. Oh, you put a dress on, you don't know it's an alien. That's kind of funny for a cartoon. But in live action, like, yeah, it's obviously an alien in a dress. So I could see them, which, weird about that. People were mad. They were mad because Pleakley's not cross-dressing.
Our daughter's mad about that.
There's no representation.
Here's the thing, though. This is way off topic, guys. Sorry. Here's the thing, though. Back then, this is what I keep trying to tell my kids, and I keep saying this is what I keep trying to tell you. Back then, things like that were in movies, and no one thought anything of it. Like, they didn't care. It wasn't until people started making a huge deal about this kind of stuff, that people turned against it. Like, it's like, okay, well, they're an alien. Maybe the alien's just a weirdo.
They
okay.
don't know. That was the thing. It was
maybe
like
Pleakley's
Gonzo.
a girl alien, and we just don't know it. You're voiced by a dude. Maybe their species it sounds like men. I don't know.
Non-binary, and they don't understand gender norms.
No one thought anything of it. But because they made such a big deal about it in the last 10, 12 years, now they're going to have to walk it back. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, you said that the other day, and I thought it was interesting.
Yeah,
because I don't know if it's true. It might not be true at all, but who knows?
Because I think Cobra Bubbles, just a theory, if they're going that route, that because Cobra Bubbles and Gantu were both looking for Stitch, just take those two characters and stick them together.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that, but we'll see who's right.
I don't know.
We'll see who's right, but we'll see. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting theory, though. Back to this. The one thing about the Snow White that was nice was the Evil Queen's outfits were amazing, including her crown. Her crown was amazing, but that's nothing to do with the fact that it's sucking dirt.
Sucking dirt. It is. Yeah, so they're trying to spin it as a win. It's the 5th biggest 2025 opening weekend.
There's only been it's in March.
It's March. Oh my God. Yeah, it's I don't understand. I don't understand how you can put a brave face on for this one.
Wait, they're saying it opened bigger than Dumbo? No, it didn't.
No, this was a day ago. Now we're actually finding out.
It did not open bigger than Dumbo. It would have had to have hit 120 million globally to open bigger than Dumbo.
If you adjust it for inflation, Dumbo, they said, would have been like 52 million. No.
Well, if you adjust it for inflation, that's even bigger loss because Dumbo beat it without adjusting for inflation.
Yeah.
God.
It's so weird because the original Snow White. Yeah, I did a story yesterday talking about Disney and as they got closer to bankruptcy and all that. And Snow White, they bet the farm on Snow White and they won. They didn't think they were going to win, but they won and it actually bankrolled the Disney company as we know it today. It was such a huge hit, and now this one.
Honestly, when you saw how it was going, you should. I don't even know if I would have put Disney Plus, given the way it was going. You should have just taken the L and got rid of it. You shouldn't have thrown more good money after bad on it. When you were hitting like $200 million budget and it wasn't coming together, it should have been just and all the controversy started. You should have just stopped while you were ahead and been like, you know what, like you said the other day. We were thinking our strategy on this. It's one that we probably shouldn't mess with because it's Walt Disney's legacy. We probably shouldn't mess with it. It's what they should have done, but they didn't.
So I'm going to leave this up here. We have another video coming later today talking about the utter state of online journalism. You have to donate to the AP now to continue reading the article. Isn't that sad?
Well, that's because they don't have any money and
they
keep suing and losing.
USAID money or whatever the hell they were getting.
I literally stopped subscribing to one of the local papers because all they did was run AP articles. That's all they did. And the AP articles, they would deliberately pick, because the person here is very, very far left. They would deliberately pick the most misleading, far leftist ones. And I was like, dude, all you have to do is just find ones that are, more truthful. But I unsubscribed because it was so blatantly bullshitty that I unsubscribed.
Blatantly bullshitty.
Blatantly bullshitty.
So is this movie. And they should have just dumped it on Disney Plus. But they were probably thinking, well, we'll get something back. But again, all the money you had to put into the marketing, you could have just banked all that and probably greenlit another movie that was going to make money.
Right. You could have greenlit a couple of movies that would have been, because now their goal is to do the movies cheaper.
Yeah.
You could have done 2 movies for the price you paid for this one, and they probably would have been better movies.
I think they would have been better off doing it like they used to do the made-for-TV Disney movies back in the day on the Wonderful World of Disney, and they did like Cinderella, where they did like a different take on it, but it was made for TV, so it was understood it was made for TV. And they would do that. They would do like live-action versions of things or whatever, or they'd do sequels to, like they did Parent Trap sequels and stuff like that. But they were made for TV, and we all understood that. I think in this case, like if you were going to do a Snow White, I would have done a different take on it. Got actual dwarf actors and just thrown it on Disney Plus, and it's like made for Disney Plus.
Snow White's been in the public domain for a while now, so everybody and their brother has done Snow White movies better. It's just like not better than Disney's animated one, but they did it better for live action. You should have just let it lie. And it was funny because I was watching, I was on Twitter, I'm sorry, X, and someone was saying if you were
named it.
Disney, I'm sorry. If you were a Disney CEO, what would you change? And one person who was getting a lot of the likes was basically like, well, I'd fire Iger and a lot of the management. I would, hire people who wanted to be there and who, had creative ideas. And one of the things that they said they do is go find, writers and directors and stuff that are known for doing good original family films and stuff, and then bring them in and let them do what they want to do.
Well, we don't get anything new. I mean, even in the 80s, Disney Channel and stuff like that, and Wonderful World of Disney, they were always trying new things. We got like Mr. Boogedy, we got, was it Sidekicks?
Well, even into the early 2000s, like they had like the Disney Channel originals, and they were like fun movies the kids loved. But they released their own thing.
Lower budget, but we understood they're on TV. They're going to be a lower budget thing. Just do more of that. And some of this stuff became beloved over the years. Some of the Disney Channel original movies. I mean, our daughter was talking about yesterday. She's talking about like Lemonade Mouth and all the stuff she used to watch. And she's like, I can't believe that movie is like 13 years old now. But those movies were done and they resonated with the generation because everybody watched Disney Channel back then.
Right. I know nobody watches Disney Channel, but they don't have the original content and stuff people used to love to begin with.
Yeah.
They've all migrated to YouTube and other places because that's where you can get more original, fun content.
I just don't understand. Like if it were me, I'd stay away from all these big, like you got lucky a few times with the, $1 billion. That's not going to happen anymore with the live action remakes. Two, I would try to do some original stuff. I would use Disney Plus and Disney Channel as a testing ground for it and just do it on the cheap.
You can't now because no one watches those anymore. I mean, Disney Plus maybe, but not Disney Channel.
Well, put it on Disney Plus first and then put it on Disney Channel later. But Disney Channel, like nobody, it's so weird. I mean, you want to talk about, and this might be a whole nother video at some point in time, but you want to talk about Disney shooting itself in the foot. Disney Channel was the most watched channel for an entire, probably 2 generations of kids. And
I remember when it came on.
Yeah, we watched it. Now when it, when we were kids, it was paywalled. It was it was a base. You had to pay for Disney, and then they would do like a weekend free every once in a while, whatever, to get you to subscribe. But then it went to commercial. But they had Disney. We had Disney XD. We had Toon Disney. And it was this huge machine. It was like this is what kids watch. Like every kid watched Disney Channel, the teen stuff, the whatever, and then it just fell off, and they just stopped investing in it, and now here we are. Snow White remakes that aren't making money.
No. And what kills me too about this is the Marvels was the biggest bomb I think that Marvel's ever had as far as theatrical release. It is the biggest bomb of 2023 for Disney, and that was the year of bombs. And then Dumbo was one of their biggest bombs, ever leading up to that, especially in 2019, given that they had all those $1 billion movies, remember? Yeah. And it was really, it wasn't as dire then because they had all those other $1 billion movies to make up for it. They don't have that now, but it was really bad. It was considered like hide that thing. It's so bad, and this is worse than them.
Yeah,
don't give me it's the biggest one of the year. March bullshit. Stop that spinny ass garbage. It did not do
spinny ass garbage.
Right. It did not do well. And just saying, okay, it did well. It's biggest at the theaters right now. Okay, so it's queen of the crap. That's not a compliment. You're just doing more damage because you're trying to get people in the seats. They're not going to come. And Minecraft is coming in like another week or so, like April 4th, and it's going to kick your ass further. Just admit you may be messed up. Stop wasting money on it and just take the loss.
Take the L. Take the L. All right, well, let's wrap this one up. Like, I don't even know what to say about this. I think this one's going to get dumped on the Disney Plus within a couple of weeks. I think it's...
Not a couple of weeks, but, I mean, Marvel's only stayed in theaters for like 4 weeks. I don't know how long they'll leave this one in. They might try to hold on like Elemental. They left it all summer just to try to get it so it made money. So
Why?
They might try to leave it in a while, but...
But Elemental actually had good word of mouth, and there were some indicators that once people went to go see it, and they're like, oh, this doesn't suck like those other Disney movies, then it kind of built momentum. Plus, it had a lot of overseas audiences.
Right. It was saved by overseas. This one is not being saved by overseas audiences.
No, they're rejecting it outright.
So, I mean, like Marvel's was in theaters 4 weeks and they had to yank it. And I won't be surprised if that happens here.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.